Do you like gameplay mods? Do you like causing mayhem in slaughter maps? Are you too broke to play Wolfenstein? If yes, then this mod is for you. Doom Incarnate is a gameplay mod made by Deathstalker on November 30th, 2017, and is a mod focusing on gameplay features of Wolfenstein games like The New Order and The Old Blood. And it is really an underrated gem overshadowed by Brutal Doom and Project Brutality that I never saw anybody talk about. This mod features two playable characters, Bloodrain and BJ Blazkowicz, both we'll discuss later. You can also find weapon upgrade kits laying around, and they do exactly what you think they would. That being upgrading the weapon to deal more damage and or fire differently. It's also important to note that the weapons offer great diversity in terms of firepower, with almost every weapon being able to be fired akimbo and even cross-wielded. With that said, let's talk about what the mod has to offer. As stated earlier, the mod offers two playable characters. BJ needs no introduction as he's the main protagonist of every Wolfenstein game. Blazko has hatchets as quick melee weapons that can be thrown to extend their reach. He's also the only one to use heavy weapons, but despite his strength, his HP is capped at 100, excluding overcharge. Bloodrain is from the video game with the same name. Rain is incapable of using heavy weapons and has no ranged melee attack like BJ's hatchets, but to compensate for that, her health is capped at 200 hit points. Rain utilizes her arm blades that have better range and damage compared to BJ's hatchets, but they don't have any ranged option excluding Rune of Wrath and Blood Rage. What's Blood Rage, you might ask? For starters, Bloodrain has three special abilities of her own: Infrared Vision, Bullet Time, and Blood Rage. You can get a better idea about them in the mod page, and damn that rhymes. The weapons are separated into 7 slots. Unlike other Doom mods where slot 1 is melee, having a close range option is only available through a quick melee attack using a dedicated button. Slot 2 is occupied by small arms, those being the handgun, a futuristic version of the Luger P08. Then we have the Black Rose, a 5-shot revolver with a massive stopping power capable of dismantling most enemies in a single shot. Last but not least, we have the SMG, a fast-firing, low-damage weapon that can shred close-range assailants, which will be kept for the direst of circumstances due to its low damage. Slot 3 is shotguns. Unexpectedly, there's 3 flavors to choose from, the Inferno shotgun being a classic pump action, the double barrel, and lastly the auto shotgun aka the Grim Hammer. Slot 4, just like classic Doom, is occupied by automatic hit scan weapons. First one is the Assault Rifle, a capable automatic weapon using 5.56 Kurtz, and boasts an integrated scope. Next one is the FG61. The Volschemia 61 or FG61 is the first throwback weapon being based on the real-life FG42 and a reference to the fan-favorite FG42 from Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and sharing the same stopping power and reliability at range. Last one is the GPVG Mark III Venom Gun, and just like its predecessor, this one has 6 barrels and its alt-fire allows it to fire all 6 at a tremendous rate of fire. Slot 5 has 2 explosive weapons. The Napalm Kraftwerk, as the name implies, this launcher shoots fireballs of napalm that explode and fill a small area with fire that deals damage over time, and its alt-fire turns it into a flamethrower. The Kampfpistole is a grenade launcher that fires explosive ordnance and can be upgraded to fire rocket-propelled grenades dealing insane direct impact damage, and with the extended mags and flak rounds, it becomes a tool of area denial and earns a spot as one of the most overpowered weapons. Moving on, slot number 6 has 2 energy-based weapons. The Plasma Rifle is as expected, firing hot plasma shots with a high cyclic rate, and the Laser Kraftwerk is your long-range weapon of choice, with its integral adjustable power scope and hard-hitting laser beams that can be charged for longer periods. Slot 7 is the penultimate weapon category and it houses the final energy-based weapons sharing similar traits to the BFG. The Tesla Cannon is a throwback to the experimental Tesla gun in earlier Wolfenstein games. It fires high damage electricity beam and when set to alt fire, it will shoot a BFG-like projectile that deals AoE damage while zapping enemies with electric tendrils mid-air. Last but not least, we have the good old Leichenfaust, and just like its 2009 counterpart, enemies and objects hit by the projectiles will levitate in the air for a short time before falling. The projectiles also home in on enemies, making it easier to attack while circle strafing. And finally comes the heavy weapons. As stated, only BJ can use them thanks to his strength, but know that you can only use one at a time and cannot replenish their ammo. However, you can drop to the current heavy weapon to pick up another one. Heavy weapons act like bigger, badder versions of previously mentioned guns. The Obergewehr fires a large explosive charged shot or can be fired full auto with less ammo usage, less damage and higher rate of fire. The Lasergewehr fires beams of pure fucking death. The Napalm Gewehr acts like a Napalm Kraftwerk on steroids, by filling a larger area with fire. The Totenkopf fires literal nukes. The MG60 shoots energy bullets that leave behind what seems like toxic gas, probably the same that the Nazis used in the gas chambers. The Schmerzmittel is this giant minigun that fires a bazillion rounds per minute with addition of rockets. The Hammergewehr is an auto shotgun that has this wind up before firing full speed. The Hotosonne is a fire weapon that its whole purpose is to shoot walls of fire. And finally, the Schutzengel is supposedly an anti-everything cannon that its job is nuking everything that moves. The most important feature of heavy weapons is that they can be dismantled using 5 upgrade kits and upgrade their corresponding weapon. It's a long list, so here's a summary of what you can upgrade with which weapon. The weapons don't end there though. There's also throwable weapons like grenades and mines with upgrades of their own. And there's even character upgrades like the Ramshackles for example, which lets you run in a straight line and ram into enemies, stunning them. It can also jib any enemy lesser than a pinky. Yeah, that was a lot. I should also give props to Deathstalker for having the patience and will to make a mod with these variations of armaments. You may find power-ups in the form of runes laying around and some of them are quite similar to vanilla ones, and some have a twist. Like Blood Rage for example, giving both characters a ranged melee attack, or the Rune of Eternity that literally gives you infinite ammo until the power-up runs out. And there's even the quad damage from Quake, quadrupling your damage output. With the main parts out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and explain what really matters, that being the difficulty and balance and overall the overview of the mod. If you play the mod for a good 20 minutes, you will notice that some of the weapons turn out to be overpowered and straight up broken. But it's not. The mod is a power fantasy mod and was made to allow you to take on some of the stronger monster mods out there, such as Colorful Hell. Combine it with WODs like Hell Revealed and Sunlust where you open a door and it throws 600 archviles at you, making the whole experience more difficult. And if you really want to, you can start a playthrough at Death at the Gates again for maximum challenge. This added difficulty compensates for the sheer stopping power of weapons. So what do I think? Well, there's a few words I can actually think of that can describe the awesomeness of the mod. The amount of detail and attention put into it is mind-blowing, and with the correct add-ons could be pretty much its own game. To conclude this video, all I wanna say is that if you haven't played this mod yet, then go ahead and give it a shot. And the tip from me is to download the gore mod and throw it in the mix with whatever you got for Doom Incarnate. And before I leave, don't forget to subscribe and like the video because it helps giving my lazy ass a reason to make legit videos people want to watch instead of whatever the heck this is. I also want to thank Shotfan on Discord for helping me with most of the information. Yeah, like 50% of the script. With that said, thanks for watching and see you soon. Veteran out.